What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the After You Cast. Sat down with one of my guys from back in the day. Always like sitting down with people that I've grown with, you know, like that I've known from a young age and been able to see grow up and become the people that they're really working towards being, do you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, please introduce yourself to the people, my guy.
So I'm Marcus, Marcus J PT, Marcus J Fitness, as some of you may know. And like Theo said, we go back 16 years now, right?
Boy, man,
it's been a long time.
Trust me, bro. Back in the days, Slough, walking down Slough High Street.
Yeah,
little young adolescence days. Yeah, man. Yeah. Good days, man. Good days, humble days where you just like you meet people, you just figure out who you are as a youngster. But those times are pivotal, man, because the people that you tend to meet, there's no coincidence that, you know, still in connection years later. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're on the right path and you guys are doing positive things, like, it's natural that you're gonna gravitate back to each other. But yeah, man, I always remember from my earliest memories of you, man, just always having a positive outlook, a great person to be around in terms of, you know, inspiring and motivating, just like little things. And just it's no coincidence, but you got into training.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can see that character was there from a young age, and then now I see what you're doing now. But yeah, it's lit to see that you've developed into that, man. So we like to get into the origin story, as we always do whenever we have somebody new comes on and talk to the people. So yeah, man, take us back a little bit and let's start with some of the earlier days of, like, let's say maybe teen years, or whenever you saw fitness starting to become a thing where you're like, all right, maybe this is a path that I want to go down, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think, like you said, going back to the teen years, ice arena. You know, anyone from Slough spent time at the ice arena, whether you skated, stood outside, or, you know, whatever. We've all spent time there, you know. If we weren't on High Street, we was at the ice arena, and I think I was one of the only few that actually skated. And that's kind of where it really started for me, I think, because spending all that time there skating, watching the games. I actually started playing hockey for a little while. So I spent a few years playing ice hockey.
That's amazing, bro. That is really
should have took it further type thing, but didn't got to that sort of adult age. Do I want to go training on a Saturday night, or do I want to go out type thing? Do you know what I mean? And that's the brutal honesty of it. So yeah, training on the weekends and whatnot wasn't really for me. So after a while, the hockey kind of died off. Then obviously got into the gym. I trained terribly. You know, I'll be honest. I used to train in a heavyweight gym with boys that knew what they were doing and I didn't. You know, so I was always just trying to play catch up.
That's a deep end.
Yeah, and without realizing, I think I fell into like a vicious cycle of just being big. So I didn't really think about what I looked like aesthetically. I just wanted to be big. I wanted to be strong. You know, at 21, 22, I was moving the same sort of weights and doing the same sort of workouts as people 10 years older than me.
With the experience and stuff as well.
Exactly. You know, some of them natural, some of them not natural, you know. So when you're playing catch up with non-natural people, it's a hard game, you know. So with that come eating. Like, there was times where I'm eating 6 to 8 meals a day. I'm knocking 4,000, 4,500 calories a day, which at the time I thought was great. I'm big, I'm strong. Do you know what I mean? I'm big, I'm strong. And then it must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, reality hit me, and I was like, I've got to change this. I'm big, but I'm so unfit. I'm so out of shape. Yes, I'm strong, but what strength when you look like crap, when you're not happy, essentially. You know?
So translating.
So gym's always been a thing for me. I've always gone gym. You can ask anyone, Marcus always goes to the gym, but I was like, I'd go gym and go McDonald's on the way home. You see what I mean? I never took it seriously.
I get you.
So to look at, he's big, he's strong, but I wasn't happy, essentially. So that's when I was like, right, I went on holiday one year and I was just like, nah, this can't run. This isn't me. I'm unhappy. You know, I don't look good. This isn't how I want to be on holiday. So I decided to come back. I came back from holiday and I got a PT straight away.
Oh, lit. So you got somebody to kind of give you
I can't do this. I actually messaged the PT while I was on holiday. I said, when I come back, let's sit down, blah, 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 blah. And that's what really kick-started my journey into fitness properly. Took me from just being a gym goer to being a fitness enthusiast. So from there, had the PT, lost weight, learned a lot, realised a lot of mistakes that I was making and whatnot. changed the gym environment. That helped me a lot as well.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just progressed really.
Yeah.
Obviously now a PT myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think from that was seeing where I went from here to here.
Yeah.
Like, some people won't believe that I was once 20 stone. You know, my heaviest scale weight was 20 stone, which I tell some people, they're like, nah, no way, that's not you. But that's the truth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are in my position, and a lot of people the opposite way, that want to put weight on and they're unhappy and whatnot. You know, people think the gym is about being vain and lifting weight and looking good. It's not. It's a mental thing as well, you know.
So true, bro.
So yeah, I think from like my journey really starting was when I had the PT. Errol Levine, I can't thank him enough, you know. I was with him only for a short time, but he really showed me a lot. And then I started taking my training properly, watching my diet, etc, etc, etc. And then after a while, seeing how far I'd come, I thought, you know what, PT it might be for me. I thought about it a few times. Oh no, I don't know. And then like, people say to me, like, you always lead the session, you train with someone, you're leading the session, why don't you go into PT and that? So then eventually I sat down and I thought, you know what, I can do this on the side. I was working a 9-to-5 office job. I thought, can I run this side by side? So as you do, get onto Google, start looking at the courses and whatnot. And yeah, went from there, you know. And now we're here. You know? And now it's a little bit more than just PT, but it's still early days. You know.
See, that's a beautiful thing as well, man. Like, you know, the beautiful thing I like about gym is that it has to be about the lifestyle. You have to
100%.
make it about your lifestyle.
100%.
So like you said, when you first went in, maybe not taking it as seriously in terms of dieting and all the other extra bits, and then you see the value in it. But the mere fact that you're doing it goes to show that there is a passion behind it.
Sense, definitely.
You know?
And that progresses every day, you know, like, you start to see the same people. Obviously working in the gym now, I see the same people day in, day out, and you see the people that are really putting work in, really, you know, doing it for themselves, not just doing it because they got a holiday in 6 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all know that one person that bangs gym because they're going on holiday. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot of people that are there mentally as well. They're not even there about what they look like. That's their escape, you know. There's people that come into the gym with their headphones on. They don't say a word to nobody. They do their session, they leave again, and you can just see that's their mental escape. You know, they're not really doing it to lose weight or to gain muscle. That's that hour in the gym is their escape from whatever's going on
in life outside.
You know?
That's a deep one as well. I'm sure you probably get first-hand experience of this as well. Is noticing that key difference. The key 100%. Difference between people that come in and they've got a purpose and a goal as opposed to others. And see, this is the thing about them. Everyone is uniquely different. Body types, passion, lifestyle, everything. So for me, as I say, I'm coming from that mindset of trying to change, because I've always been fit. It's been football fitness, and football fitness is tied to playing football. Remember, you slow down, you're not playing for a team and you're not kicking it actively, that cardio's gone, and then you're not really fit now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like physical work fitness that you conditioned your body for years and then you slow down, but you still have that memory. My memory is kicking the ball technically and a bit of cardio,
of course.
So coming away from that now, I've realized that like my goals have changed and shifted towards wanting to look a certain way, improve my overall look physically, put a little bit of weight on to fit and feel how I actually want to feel working out. So
of course,
I can see how you probably had that divide of noticing people. What would you say, quick one, shifting towards being a PT itself, is the hardest challenge you notice for a lot of people who come to train with you? Is it commitment of time? Is it the lifestyle, the body that they're trying to get, or a mix of all of them?
I'd say confidence is a big thing. Confidence is a real big thing. Both in males and females. You know, not every guy in the gym is pumping iron to be vain. You know, like I know males in the gym that are actually very insecure to be in the gym because they look at the next person, they compare themselves to the next person. You know, so I think for clientele wise, or people that are looking at or thinking about a PT, I think the first issue for them is the confidence. Some people have a PT because they're just not confident doing exercises. They don't want to do it wrong. They don't want to be seen to be doing something incorrect. They don't want to be seen to be being stupid. Do you know what I mean? So they think, if I have a PT, the PT shows me the right way, blah 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 blah. That way no one's going to look at me, no one's going to laugh. And I say it weekly, anyone that has enough time to be studying the other person isn't focusing on themselves. Yeah, we see it as PTs, we see it as members of staff, you know, we see it day in, day out. Things that are slightly questionable, things that are arguably dangerous, you know, techniques that are not quite right, which is obviously, that's our responsibility to politely step in and whatnot. But even that's a grey area. Because some people appreciate you stepping in and giving them a gentle bit of advice, and some of them take offence to it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I've seen that.
Confidence is definitely the key one. In terms of people having the fear of not knowing what they're doing. It's the fear of the unknown, essentially. You know, it's like females typically don't like going into the free weights area because they're dominantly male. Do you see what I mean? So again, it comes back to confidence. Whereas there's some females, they don't care, headphones on, they're straight in there, they're doing what they need to do.
That makes a lot of sense as to why you see the chicks come and usually in headphone mode when they sit into like the gym area or the free weight section.
Then I think second to confidence would be, I suppose, discipline. Really, like even me, I have a coach. Do you know what I mean? I have an online coach who over time is actually like quite a good friend. We have off-topic conversations sometimes about things, you know. Even when I was going into the PT business, we had a little sit down and whatnot, you know. And it's just about having that guidance. It's having that discipline and having that guidance, because if you come to the gym 5 days a week, you come in, you do what you want to do, you go home again. You only have your own expectations. Whereas if you have a PT 2 of those 5 sessions, my expectations are going to be different to yours. I'm going to push you that little bit harder than what you're naturally going to push yourself.
Very true.
Like even like, you know, KO for example. I can train, I know how to train, I know what my body does and doesn't work with. I still train with other people to train their methods. Like I train with KO once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and every time I ask myself, why do I do this? And it's because his discipline is a lot greater than mine. So when I'm like, I can't do that, or I try and cut the reps short, it's no, get back straight back into what you're doing. You know, we're doing 20, why have you done 15? That sort of thing, you know what I mean? So having that discipline is a big factor as well. You've got to be consistent for anything, you know, regardless of fitness. So being disciplined, having consistency, and more importantly, having that confidence to come in the gym and get it done. Like one of my clients, always conscious of sweat. Always conscious of sweat, which is not a problem. I don't fault them for that, but that's their conscience. They are worried about how sweaty they're getting during the session. Which some people don't bat an eyelid. You know, some people will drip with sweat, drip sweat on the floor and not care. Do you see what I mean? But some people are a bit, I'm sweating too much, you know. There's so much to it that people don't realise. You see what I mean?
I see where you're coming from, and there's like you almost need like the understanding before you can even understand why it's important.
Of course. And that's the thing, like everyone has a PT for different reasons. Some people have a PT because they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Some people know what they're doing and they just want that accountability. They want to be, you know, pushed that little bit harder. They know that on a Friday they've had a long week, they can't bother to go to the gym, but if they've got a session booked in with their PT, they have to go. They've paid money for that. They've paid money to be there, so they have to go. Do you see what I mean? So it's like there's accountability as well. There's so many minuscule factors: discipline, consistency, confidence, accountability, you know. But for me, I think the big thing for clients is definitely confidence. Definitely the confidence of being able to come in the gym, get down to business, step outside the comfort zone a little bit. You know, like I had a client a little while ago doing an exercise that they weren't confident that they could do. It's not that they couldn't do it, they just never done it before. So rather than me say, okay, we won't do that, let's switch it out for this, no, we will do it. And we're going to keep doing it, we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep doing it. 10 minutes later, we're doing rep after rep after rep, like we've been doing it the whole time. Do you see what I mean? And it's not that they can't do it, it's in their head, they can't do that. But it's not because they know they can't, it's because it's the fear of the unknown again. They don't know, can they do it? But it's then my responsibility to not force it upon them to do it, but to reassure them that you're going to get it eventually. You might not get it the first time. Same with me, like I go in the gym and I look at a weight and I think, don't know if I've got that today. Someone like Mr. KO, light work, blah, 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 gives you that sense of confidence that you can do that. Do you see what I mean? So
no, it's true. I mean, one thing I noticed my respect for PTs has definitely improved over the years, because as I said, coming from a football background, my essence of fitness is based purely in, you know, cardio, technical expertise, knowing what to do on a football pitch. But when you take it to the gym, there's a whole new it's a whole new universe, man.
Of course, everyone's different. Everyone's got different injuries. Everyone's got different medical issues. Everyone's got different expectations. You know, some people's expectations are way too high, and you have to bring them back down. And again, it's not that they're wrong. It's just being clear. Some people expect something to happen overnight. Some people's expectations are way too low. They want to achieve this in a year's time, but it's something they can achieve in a month's time, something like that. You know, every single person is different, and like I said, some people come for the physical, some people come for the mental, some people come just for the aesthetics. You know, some people, like I said, the holiday, people will come and have a PT, a 6-week crash course because they're going on holiday. After that, you might not see them again. You know, which is absolutely fine. But the next person to walk through the door could be coming for mental health issues. You know, and you could spend more time of the session speaking to them than you actually do training them. As a PT, I mean, I'm yet to see it too much myself, but from, you know, speaking to other PTs and things like that, people that I know that have been personal trainers for 5, 10, 15 years now, you're everything. You're the shoulder to cry on, you're the personal trainer, you're the counsellor, you're the relationship advice. You're everyone. You know, you're everyone, because you're that person that's almost, you're part of the life, but you're almost an outsider to it as well. Do you see what I mean? The gym is a release. If that person's coming to the gym for a personal trainer, you're part of that release as well. You see what I mean? So you need to aid that process. It's not about how many burpees can I make you do in a minute. It's about, how was your weekend? How's things at home? How's that issue at work? You know, there's a lot more to it than just putting you through your paces and seeing how many calories can we burn in 60 minutes. You see what I mean? That's
big facts. And I mean, it points to there's layers of PT that I've noticed since I've come into the gym. You can see the difference between guys like yourself, KO, who think a little bit more holistically about gym itself. It's not just we're just here to get big, because obviously you see your physiques, you're like, oh cool, they're in shape. But it's more than that. It's more about...
Of course it is. And like, this is what I say to people. Like, people say to me, so typically what your clients are like. Like, I'm not going to lie, I don't have a list of clients as long as my arm, because of my day job as well. That's right. I have a few clients that are all very different. And like, having your niche is great, but at the same time, if your niche is too strong, in my opinion, I'm not saying those people that have their set niche that they're doing anything wrong. This is only my opinion. I feel that you then limit yourself. So if you were to come into the gym, and all of my clients, every time you saw me with a client, it was a client losing weight, but you don't want to lose weight. So why are you going to come and speak to me when what you see me doing is not your goal?
I hear what you're saying.
Whereas if you see me one day with someone who's losing weight, someone who's just doing strength and conditioning, someone who's doing bodybuilding, whatever it might be, someone that's just doing fitness, not a weight in sight, you know, just doing fitness, it's versatility. You see what I mean? You appeal to the audience more. Like if I was looking for a PT and I had my eye on someone that was only training females, let's say, I will automatically assume their niche is females, irrespective of the goal. That's what I would assume. Person that they train. That's what you assume. Whereas if I see a PT that's training a younger one day, a middle-aged woman the next day, a boy the day after that, or whatever it might be, that versatility makes them more attractive. You know, I see it. You're not going to go to a restaurant that only sells one type of food. Do you see what I mean?
You want the diversity, even if it's one cuisine. You want variety of the cuisine. I see what you said. Like that's huge, because it kind of it compartmentalizes PT and working in the gym itself, because you, like you said, you go in and you see people that maybe only work with people that are losing weight, people that are only trying to do cardio, people, and then, like you said, they get labelled as a certain type of PT, or you feel uncomfortable to go and talk to them because, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, explain to me, like, one thing I do want to highlight is the process of PT in itself now seems like it's shifted from when we was growing up, in terms of gyms were kind of like staffing these instructors or PTs, and then they were kind of reliant upon the gym itself to kind of maybe get clients. And I think it's shifted a little bit, as you obviously be able to educate.
I think it's the way time has evolved. So if you go back to when we were first getting into gym, social media was not what it is today. Social media was a social platform for people to just pass time, essentially. Look at how many businesses are now based off of social media. So
it's like you have to now, isn't it?
Precisely. If if you're trying to run a business, especially a people's business, and you're not on socials, you're missing a big part of the market. A big part of the market.
It's true.
You know, so like anyone can be a PT. Yeah, I refer to it as your driving license.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So that day you pass your driving test, you get that little certificate. A couple of days later, the pink card comes through the post. That means you can drive.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're a Formula One race driver. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's the same with PTing. Anyone can go and do their level 2 course. Yeah. Do your level 2. You're qualified as a fitness instructor. You can do group training. You can do classes. You can work the gym floor, etc. Cool. You do your level 3. That then makes you a personal trainer. Okay. All that certificate does, it says that you are now qualified to conduct one-to-one personal training. Okay. The courses only touch a small amount on the other aspects. So
do you need to do extra courses, I'm guessing?
You don't need to. Okay. There's a number of extra courses you can do.
Okay, cool.
But once you've got your level 3, it's the same. You've just got your driving license. You can now go and find your way, jump on that motorway and see where it takes you. Go to that gym and see where it takes you.
Yeah, you might want to be in like motorbikes. You might want to do like
precisely.
Okay, you fine tune it.
You have to expect the unexpected. Yeah. Because every person that comes to speak to you about personal training is gonna be coming to you for a different reason. So you do have to find your way, like your sales pitch almost, because people buy people. If you come to me and you say to me, I want a personal trainer, okay, that then gives me countless questions. Why do you want a personal trainer? How long do you want a personal trainer for? What's your goal? What's your medical? What's your previous? What's this? What's that? What's this? That's not really a conversation you can just have on a gym floor like that. That's okay, cool. Take my details, let's go sit down another time, later today, tomorrow, whatever it might be, and have that chat. You have to be ready for that. I get you. You see what I mean? So working in the gym, especially the gyms now, like the commercial gyms, the chain gyms, like I'm not going to name names, but the gyms that we all know, you know, the gyms that are in every town, which my gym is based off of that business model. The gym that I currently manage is based off of that business model, whereby generally the PTs are self-employed. So in order to earn money, you have to sell yourself essentially. Do you see what I mean? The gym is just your hub. Running classes obviously puts clients in front of you, potential clients in your face. If you run a class and you run a really good class, it's good energy, you're positive, you're speaking to people, you know, you're giving praise here, you're making it hard there, and arguably even picking on people slightly, having a bit of banter with them, rather than just coming in telling them, yep, do this, do that, do this, see you next week.
You need some character.
If you've got a bit about you and whatnot, and you can hold a good class and you can conduct a class that's fun and whatnot, people are going to come back to your class and come back to your class, and then eventually they're going to linger around. One or two of them will linger around at the end of the class, ask you about personal training, etc. If you're working in the gym and you're sat at the front desk and every single person that walks through the door, hello, goodbye, how you doing? Remember their workouts, remember their days. I know a lot of people's days. Someone walking, I tell them legs today. I know their workout journey. So when you start to build up that relationship and build a rapport with the members of the gym, when that time comes, or if that time comes that they want a PT, who are they going to come to? Me, who just walks past them and doesn't say a word to them, or you that knows their routine?
Exactly.
Do you see what I mean? So you have to be personable. That's the biggest thing. Just because you've got that certificate does not mean that you're going to have countless clients. You're not going to have a full diary just because you've got that certificate. You have to build your diary.
Absolutely.
So you have to be able to conduct yourself in a professional manner. You know, because obviously, like I said, everyone's different. Everyone's coming to you for a different reason. True. The gyms themselves, like for us, what we have like a process on a website where a member and non-member can fill out an inquiry form. When I reply to that inquiry form, I send them a link that has all the PT profiles on it. So they've already filled out the form telling me what they want. I then come back to them, answer any questions that they've put in, send them the link. They then have every PT's profile to read through. And I tell them, have a look. If there's any, you know, any that you like, blah, 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 blah. If they don't have a preference or they don't pick a particular one out, then I will speak to the best match. Basically, I will look at their requirements, look at each PT.
Figure out somebody that we...
and then I'll go to them and I will say, Theo, I've got this member, blah, 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 blah. Do you have scope for it? Put you in contact, take the details, give you their details, etc., etc. Do you see what I mean? So there's many streams. Word of mouth is the biggest one. Word of mouth is the biggest one.
Huge, underestimated as well.
So you've got to be personable. You've got to build up that relationship, so that you make yourself approachable. That would be number one for me. Word of mouth is definitely number two. If someone comes to you, you turn them into a client, you give them 2-3 sessions a week, and they're really enjoying it, they're really seeing progress. They're going to go home, they're going to tell their partner, they're going to tell their parents, they're going to tell their work colleagues, their best friend, their group chat, whatever it might be. You know, word spreads, and like I said, people buy people. You know,
that's true.
If you go to a restaurant and it's 10 out of 10 and you tell me, I'm going to go check that restaurant out. You know, it's exactly the same. Classes as well. Like I said, going back to what I said originally, social media. So if you're active on social media and your social media is clearly a business page, people know exactly what you're about. Do you see what I mean? So people can see for themselves. And again, it comes back to confidence. If someone can sit in the privacy of their own home, look at your social media, look at your portfolio, your website if you have one, etc., etc., they have time to make up their own decision before they come to you. The chances of someone walking up to you on the gym floor and asking you a question or asking you for a sit down or whatever it might be is slim compared to someone sending you an email or sending you a DM.
Digital now, innit? Well, yeah, it goes back to what you just said, innit? Like back in the day, you kind of had to rely on the system, but whereas now, you kind of got independence. To kind of create your image online. So it's just like, if you can, why not take advantage of that? That's a great one. What I'm going to also add in as well is, so when you're actually setting up, when you mentioned self-employed being as a PT, does that mean that you need to go and register as a self-employed company?
So you don't have to. You can be a PT as a sole trader.
Cool. Okay.
So you just have to, obviously, because with the way a lot of these commercial gyms business model is set up, you basically either work a certain amount of hours per month, and that is your rent contribution. So let's say, for example, you work 60 hours a month. You are then entitled. That's your rent contribution. So you're then entitled to PT as many clients as you want. Or you have the option to pay rent. You can do part and part. So you could do 30 hours a month and pay 50% of what the rent fee would be. Do you see what I mean? But again, that comes with what your diary looks like. If you're brand new to the industry, you're not earning money to be paying rent. So therefore, you work the hours. But those hours are also your time to put yourself out there. It's not time for you to just be picking up a dumbbell and swinging around on a chair. That's your time to be going to interact with the members, building those relationships. That's 60 hours a week. How many people can you talk to in an hour? Times that by 60. 6 hours a month. Sorry. You know, how many people could you be interacting with a month? And they're not necessarily going to take you up straight away. They might not come to you the next day and say, I want PT. It might be a week, a month, 6 months later. You know, that they remember that conversation, they remember that time you helped them, and then they come back and say, oh, you know what, been thinking about it, I want a PT, etc., etc. Do you see what I mean?
And it comes back later.
And then, I mean, depending on how busy you get and how successful you are, and obviously in what space of time, you would then have to go from a sole trader to a business. Basically, you'd have to re-register as a business. But it comes down to the financials at the end of the day. You know, like if you're earning just enough to stay under the tax bracket as a sole trader, then you stay as a sole trader. You know, if business booms and whatnot, and you decide to really make a brand of it and make a business of it, then that's when you register as a business. You know.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you can see that from now, like the bars, like bus gyms, and most gyms in general, like they kind of have that set up now, isn't it? Is that like a standardized thing?
Pretty much, even to the extent now where some of the independent gyms, so as you know, obviously, a lot of us boys, we work in one particular gym, but we travel where we can, get our heads in as many different gyms, see how different people have set up their gyms, you know, different equipment, how they operate, things like that. A lot of the independent gyms, because they don't require the staff headcount as what the commercial gyms do, because typically they don't have classes, or they're not open 24 hours or whatever it might be. They tend to just have PTs that will just pay rent. So it's like, if I own an independent gym and I'm working there 6 days out of 7, I don't need 10 members of staff if I'm working there. So for the PTs, £300, £500, whatever it might be, they just pay their rent for the month. They come in as they please. Some of them might help out here and there, you know. When you're a full-time PT, you have quite a lot of free time at the same time, because unless you book your clients back to back, you might have 2 clients in the morning, an hour or two's break, then you have another client. So some of the independent gyms, those 2 hours that PT's free, they might just cover the gym floor. Do you see what I mean? Just to help out. You know, if your rent's £500 a month, but you do a couple of hours here and there, your rent's now £350, £400 a month. Do you see what I mean?
So you can just take little bits off from willingness to do other things.
Exactly. But typically speaking, the commercial chain gyms that we see in every town now, they're operating on that hours for rent type sort of plan, basically.
Okay, alright, that's smart. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about where you're at, because I know I've obviously been going Buzz for a little while now, but it stands out to me as one of the better gyms in terms of not just equipment, but I think it's just like you just mentioned a minute ago, PT, the environment, when you go into the gym, meeting and greeting people, and the willingness of certain PTs to come up to you, have a chat. This we were talking about this the other day. It's community. That's what it is. It's community. Like, you know, like for example, when you walk in, I know just 2 steps behind you, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? I know the times that you come in, sort of thing. I know a lot of the PT schedules. I know when someone's going to be in, when they've gone home, and etc. Someone will come and say, "Oh, is so and so in?" No, but they'll be back in 2 hours. Because everyone knows what everyone's doing. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
I've been in other gyms in the area where it's almost like walking into a library. No one says hello to anyone. You know, there's no atmosphere, there's no community, there's no interaction whatsoever.
Just a radio playing.
You know, whereas really, if all of us had more time in our day, how long could we all stand around and have a chat on the gym floor? As unprofessional and, you know, as whatever it might look, we could if we had the time. There's 5-6 of us at any given time that could have an hour's conversation, you know.
That's so true. That is true. I mean, it goes back to the community aspect of like how things have evolved now, because now it's more digital. I think what's happened is a lot of places are just relying purely on their digital footprint,
of course.
And they think that's just going to carry along. And then I think there's that missing component of like what we're doing now, which is like being able to sell yourself, being able to actually have conversations and plant seeds. Because like you said, there'll be times where you plant a seed and 2 months later that person now wants training from you.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
It's all about how you conduct yourself, you know. If you're just sat in a corner with a face like thunder and you're not interacting with people, no one's ever going to approach you. Whereas if you're smiley, even if it's at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're it's only morning. That's all you've got to do is just say morning, goodbye. That's it. Just those little things there go a long way for some people. Some people won't acknowledge it, some people don't care, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do appreciate that morning, have a good day, see you tomorrow, the little things like that, you know.
Huge. And it goes back to like, I think what happens is as well is because some people maybe don't like it, we use the excuse that, like those people, I had a bad experience talking to that person, so I'm going to use that as an excuse, for why I won't do it moving forward. And it's like, that's poor, because let's be honest, like we all have bad days, we have good days, but if you're in that position and your role is to be a coach, you kind of have to remove your own personal emotion.
100%. Whatever's happened, even if you've had an argument at home before walking out the front door, that argument has to stay at home. You can't bring that into the gym, because the minute you walk into the gym, you're surrounded by anywhere between 30 to 100 different people, you know. And if you've got a client as well, and you've brought that negative energy to the session, your client's then had a bad session. Your client's then going to go home or back to work or whatever it might be and take that bad energy back with them. Do you know what I'm saying?
So chain effect, like snowballs.
Exactly. It becomes a domino effect. It just follows on, and then almost it sometimes might not be forgotten. So then if you've got another session a day later or 48 hours later, that client's going to remember, on Monday he was in a bad mood. You see what I mean?
Exactly. And then they might just be like, I'm a bit less inclined to want to, especially now when everything's less digital, like you really have to probably be even more on the front foot of being positive as much as you can. Like, and I'm just starting to realise that now, like when I'm doing football coaching and stuff, it's like working with certain youngsters. Some of them come in, they've got different good days, bad days, and then you forget that I have to just like put my stuff aside because it's about developing them.
It's not about you. It's about them. And 100%.
I think it's a powerful thing when you can step into that lane, because you find something else inside yourself that you don't really know is there.
100%.
A sense of patience and a sense of like discipline that a lot of people are severely lacking. But these things can be taught, and that's why I advise a lot of young boys turning into men, have some form of fitness, whether it's you have a team that you work out with or whatever. I said I was playing football growing up, but as you can see, like, I'm not playing football anymore, but I'm still connected with footballers. And then I'm still coming to the gym now, and I'm really passionate about, you know, seeing those goals and those changes, because again, I've never been in a gym like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot to explore for somebody like me, as opposed to other people that maybe been dabbling for a few years and haven't really like taken it seriously. But I like your perspective when you talked about, you know, you was in the gym, got big, and then kind of had to resurface and had to reevaluate how you was doing things. Like, speak on that a bit more, because I think a lot of young guys, they're struggling to like think, oh, being big is just, that's it, or if I look big, that's it.
It's not a choice. No one's ever happy. That's the bottom line. No one's ever happy. So for me, like I said, I was big, I was strong, I was doing the same weight, the same reps as people 10 years older than me, etc, etc, etc. At the time, I was happy with myself in the gym. You know, I was, you know, 140 kilo bench press. I know that's warm up weight to some people nowadays, but for me, when I was moving that sort of weight on a weekly basis, I was happy. Outside of the gym, I wasn't happy. You know, going shopping, like Zara, for example, you'd never catch me in that shop because nothing fitted me. You know, yes, in the gym I was this big strong boy. Outside of the gym, I was just this overweight guy. Yes, I was big, but I was massively overweight. Don't fit into certain clothes. Certain brands don't fit me. Don't shop in certain shops because their sizing doesn't even come close to what I need, etc, etc. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't until I said, like, I had that sort of self-reality check whereby I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, and it goes the other way, like where some people go to the gym to get big. They're on the smaller side of where they want to be, and they go to get big. They're still never going to be happy because you get from here to there, and then you want to go from there again to there. You want to go there again. The goalposts are forever moving. Like, even me, like I said, I've got a coach. In the time I've been with my coach, who is very patient with me, I'm very up and down. You know, I fall off the wagon easily. I don't lie. You know, my days are busy. Some days I do skip cardio because it's the end of the day and I just want to go home, etc, etc. Do you know what I mean? In that time, I've still gone up and down in weight. And what a lot of people don't realize is you have to do the opposite to what you want to do sometimes. So when I first started with my coach, my food actually went up because we needed to see how my body handled higher foods, at what rate did I put muscle on, etc, etc. So I actually put a bit of weight on for a little while. And at first in my head I'm thinking, I'm eating more than what I was, how is this gonna work? But at the end of the day, I'm paying my coach because he knows what he's doing. Do you see what I mean? So in my head I'm questioning it because it's new to me. I'm not questioning him, I'm questioning the process. And it comes down to that cliche line of trust the process. You essentially, that's what you have to do. And then when my food came down and came down and came down and came down, I was losing weight, but I actually looked bigger than what I was because I used that higher food at the start to build some muscle mass. So when I was then stripping the fat off and the muscle was more visible, I actually appeared more muscular and bigger than what I was starting off. Do you see what I mean? And that's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people think, I need to lose weight, I need to cut out carbs, and I need to do an hour's cardio a day. No, you don't. You know, I'm losing weight on 5 meals a day. It's not about how much you eat to an extent. It's about what you eat. Quality. So you can still eat your 3, 4, 5 meals a day and lose weight if those portions are moderate sizes. It's all about input versus output. Do you see what I mean?
Calorie counting, essentially.
So I mean, it's something I can ramble on about for days, you know, where people say, oh, I'm going to do no carbs. Why are you going to do no carbs? They can't answer it. People tell you carbs are bad. Why are carbs bad? Everything is bad excessively. Do you see what I mean? So you can have carbs. I always tell people, don't cut carbs out of your diet. Reduce them, yes. Cut them out, no. Your body needs carbs to function.
Facts.
If I take petrol out your car, where are you going to go?
Wait, listen.
Do you see what I mean? Yes, excessive carbs, too much for your body to handle and too much for your body to burn in a day will turn into fat, obviously, over time. Cutting them out completely will just shock the body to the extent that when you then introduce carbs again, it's going to cling on to them. So you're going 2 steps forward to go 3 steps back, essentially, in the long run. Do you see what I mean? So
100%.
But for me it was a lifestyle change, really. So like now, yes, I still eat takeaway. Yes, I will grab a Snickers in the shop sometimes, do you know what I mean? But typically speaking, when I'm on track like I should be, 5 meals a day, the basics, chicken and rice, mince and rice, steak and potato, things like that. Yeah, and people, oh, you eat that day in, day out. I live out of Tupperware boxes, but that's what I need to do to continue to go in the direction that I want to go in.
100%.
Come the weekend, I will have a takeaway. I will go out for dinner. I might eat a whole Domino's. But then it's straight back to it the next day. Do you see what I mean? It's all about balance.
It's exactly. It's the balance. It's that's real key.
It's like people say, oh, drinking alcohol. If you drink alcohol every single day of the week and then go out on a full night out on the weekend, that's unbalanced.
That's mad.
If you don't drink up throughout the week and you have 1 or 2 on the weekend, what's the harm?
Facts.
What's the harm?
100%.
I mean?
It's a balancing act, isn't it? And again, it links back to what makes you happy as well. You know, sometimes we do have to sacrifice happiness in order to get to our goals, but at the same token too, no one can sacrifice happiness all the time.
No, of course.
It's like we do it for a reason.
And the thing is, it's about making smart choices. You know, so like sometimes I have been on a strict diet, you know, where my food's been very low, things like that. And I've been invited to a meal out, or it's been a birthday or something. I still go. I plan accordingly. You see what I mean? So if, for example, you're ordering something that comes with chips that you know is fried, ask for potato instead. Do you see what I mean? A jacket potato, new potato, something like that. You know, you don't have to have those fried chips. You know, little things like that. If you know that you're dieting and you know you need to be strict, do you need that dessert? You know, it's about making smart choices rather than sacrifice. It's about smart choices, because if you go too far and you're strict, it becomes unsustainable.
It's true,
and you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. You're going to start to go back the other way.
So
you're better off again
as well.
Having that balance, making smart choices, and staying more consistent. And that's what I found hard at times. You know, and that's the conversations that I have with my coach, where it's like, right, okay, have your cheat meal this week. So I haven't lost weight 1 week. I think, right, okay, cool, I need to stick at it. He will still tell me, have your cheat meal. Because if I don't have that cheat meal, it may build, and it will get worse and worse and worse, and it becomes a snowball effect.
That's right.
Do you see what I mean?
So it's like that's a smart way of looking at it as well. And I think for a lot of people, I think they just want to do the most difficult.
They want it here and now.
They want it, they want that, just like, boom, give me that, whatever I need to do. If I need to starve myself, and it's just like they go to the extremes, I think, to try and get what they need to, without realizing, hey, sometimes you just need to plan, stick to the plan, and have it be consistent. And that's deep. So let's switch a little bit and talk a little bit about your specific your particular training itself. Because I know you mentioned you want to have that bit more versatility. Do you have a specific area you want to work in terms of training people, or would you prefer to be a little bit more of like an overall specialist, like a few areas you hit?
I think for me at the moment, having the style that I've got, whereby anyone is accepted. You know, cool. So it doesn't matter whether you want to lose weight, gain weight, you've got a wedding coming up, a holiday coming up, whatever it might be. As long as your expectations are realistic and you're willing to work, then we can work together. Do you see what I mean? I wouldn't turn anyone away because I've already got enough clients that are trying to lose weight or trying to gain weight, whatever it is. You just got to be willing to work and have realistic expectations. As time comes on, I'll probably go a little bit more specialist somewhere. So like you asked earlier about the qualifications, there's so many courses you can do past your level 3. So like you can do pre and postnatal if you wanted to do something like that. You can go into like level 4 diabetes, which obviously is a lot more in depth. You touch on it in your course, but it's a lot more in depth in terms of the do's and the don'ts, what to look out for, things like that. You can do like an extended course in obesity, things like that, because someone who is medically obese rather than just overweight in their own head is very different. There's a lot of health complications that come with someone who is clinically diagnosed as obese.
So you can't just be running them and beasting them like you would.
Precisely. Same with someone who's diabetic. You have to be mindful of their diabetes and what certain exercises will do to their sugar levels and things like that. So there is a number of courses, and they're just the basics. You know, you can go into a lot like further strength and conditioning. You can go into strength and conditioning for certain sports and things like that.
Rehabilitation.
Precisely.
And all that stuff.
You can go to GP referral and all sorts. You know, whereby if someone's been recommended the gym due to a medical issue or a medical injury or something like that, if someone came to me tomorrow for that, I would turn them down because I'm not qualified to do that. I could give them advice and I could advise them to another person maybe, but it's not something that I would take on myself because I haven't spent the time to study it. You see what I mean?
I get you.
But no, I think long term, like obviously we've had conversations in the gym. More short term would definitely be the kind of bespoke boot camps focusing on a particular sort of niche, if you like. I know I've just said not to have a niche.
No, but you need to in terms of certain groups.
Certain groups.
Doesn't limit you overall.
So overall clients, day-to-day clients, like I said, I'll take on anyone. I'm happy to work with anyone that's happy to work irrespective of their goals. Long term would definitely be like an not even a boot camp, a training camp almost. Like I said to you, targeting specific people that we see today that we weren't 15 years ago. It's probably something we'd have to go into on another one. But just touch on, if you look at what we were doing 15 years ago, completely harmless, completely crime free, compared to what those age groups are doing now. That's something I would want to do.
I know what you're saying.
Like what you're doing outside of this, you've got your other avenues. Something very similar to that. Like you said, everyone needs to have a focus somewhere, whether it's a sport, a team, non-fitness related. So for me, I would definitely want to look at eventually having a camp that targeted
a certain group of people. Young males and females. You have equality is a big thing now. It's not just the young teenage boys that are the problem. Some of the females are going through exactly the same thing. Facts.
So for me, I would definitely want to set up some sort of camp whereby they can come and do what they want almost, in a field or a sports hall or whatever it might be, where they're too young to go to the gym. So they can't go to the gym and go and lift weights and whatnot, but they can come to the camp and they can vent their anger
and get a little
expend their energy, training, even if it's competitive or not, put that energy into something positive, constructive, rather than putting that energy into bad situations in their local areas. Like I say to a lot of people, our lot that we grew up with, where are the youth centres? Look at the youth centres we had 15 years ago.
I know, man.
They're not here anymore.
Many, bro.
We didn't get into trouble and didn't get into certain situations that the kids are getting into nowadays because we had something to do.
That's right.
Not all of us come from the perfect family. A lot of us come from broken homes, but we all had change in our pocket to grab a drink.
That's it.
Some of the kids nowadays don't have that. So what are they doing? They're going out and getting that money through crime, through violence. Not because they want to, because they feel that they have to. Whereas if they had something different, whereby they can come to the camp wherever it is, train, there's refreshments there for them. Do you know what I mean? It gives them that space, again, that escape. Because not all of them that are doing what they're doing nowadays want to do it.
I don't think so. I think, like you said, it goes back to like what we had. We was a little bit naughty here or there, and we grew up and had our fun times. But the difference is that I think we had accountability.
100%.
We had people in the family that knew, all right, cool, you can have fun, but don't go too far now.
Exactly.
There was a line, there was a limit. Whereas and today it's like it's a little bit
today's
limitless.
Age, again, it's social media, things that are available to them now.
Bro.
So I think for me, like the PT will always be a thing for me now. But I would like to always have a second thing as well. I don't want to just, like right now I'm managing the gym and I'm PTing.
Absolutely.
Eventually I want to have my business successful enough that the gym has to become the secondary, if you see what I mean. Whether that be going into my own PT space or whatever it might be, a year, 5, even 10 years time. But in and amongst that plan as well will definitely be something for the younger generation that's not just a typical put them into music or put them into this, which is great. I've got a lot of time and respect for all of the the producers and the artists and whatnot that are doing the music scene for the younger generation, but not many are doing it for sports side of things. Obviously you've got your football stuff, but
that's even that specific.
But if you're not into football,
exactly,
they're not going to go to that. You can't lure them away from what they're up to in their estates to come and play football if they're not about football.
They're not about it, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas fitness is a lot more widespread, whether that's boxing, agility, calisthenics, weightlifting, whatever it might be. There's a lot more versatility in the fitness industry, which therefore gives them more options, if you see what I mean.
Very true. Yeah, that's a great point.
So for me, I think rather than pick a niche whereby I'm going to go and train bodybuilders or I'm going to be a weight loss specialist, I think for me it would be almost a community specialist.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, for the younger generation.
Yeah.
Like I was somewhere just the other day, and the conversation I heard that come out of a boy's mouth made me feel old, because I'm listening to this conversation and I'm thinking, how? Like, you should be in school. I'm looking at the time thinking, you shouldn't even be out, let alone talking about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, if I had that set up, I could have said to him, look, if you're not going to school and that's what you're up to,
Get yourself.
come. I've got something for you.
Yeah.
You know, I've got something for you to do. You don't have to do what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's unprofessional to say it now.
Of course,
the conversation
I
was,
know.
but it's
I
not
feel
a
you.
conversation that I would expect to come from a 14, 15-year-old boy's mouth.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
I hear you, bro.
And I understand what he's saying, because he felt that that's his only option. But if there was other things for them to do, that time right there would have been a prime opportunity for me to say, here you go, this
Get
place,
yourself
this time, come down, have a look.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
It sets a little thing in their mind. It gives them something to strive towards.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to change the world. Don't get me wrong. Some kids are not going to be turned around. You know, it's some criminals. They go to jail. They come back out. They do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just providing that option.
Yeah.
You can't expect change without an option.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and especially for a lot of the youngsters that you're talking about and we're referencing right now, a lot of them do feel like they don't have any options. They do feel like they're limited. So, having that option sometimes is just like the first step for them knowing, all right, cool, even if it's just, all right, there's something there, even if I don't know what it is, I know it's something there that I could maybe get into.
Yeah, that there is another path.
Yeah.
Where that path might take you, you don't know, but it's another path.
Another path compared to what you're on now.
The one you're on now, exactly.
It's so true. Yeah, that's so true. What's it like getting into, obviously, the management position? Because I know that you've got good connection with the other gyms and things like that as well. What's it like collaborating with other PTs and stuff? Like, what's some of the pros and cons?
I think all in all, it's a positive role, because as much as I'm the manager, I'm still in and amongst the team. Yeah, and I know some people's work styles and management styles are very different, but the way I see it, one Friday, I was Marcus. Come the Monday, I was Marcus the manager, but essentially I'm still Marcus. You see what I mean? So I don't put myself above the team.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to doing certain tasks like cleaning, things like that, throw me the duster, I'll do it as well. Do you see what I mean?
That's the difference. Lead by example, bro.
Precisely. And the thing is as well, which is good, because the gym obviously buzz, because it is a smaller gym, we're a lot more close knit across the 5 clubs. So like only Monday this week, I was in head office in a meeting with the other managers. So you get to hear firsthand their issues, their achievements, what they're doing, and you can take ideas from that. So it's not just a case of I'm in this gym and I'm left to my own devices. I can pick up the phone to anyone at all within the business and ask for help or ask for an opinion, whatever. Friday, I was with the CEO of the business, walking around the gym. So working for a smaller chain is definitely a lot more beneficial, because your voice is heard. Your voice is heard and the helping hand is there when you need it. If I worked for one of the larger chains that's got 200 gyms across the country, am I ever going to meet the CEO? Probably not.
Probably not.
And it's just you, your club and your team sort of thing. So it helps as well, because obviously I was a member of the gym before I started managing it, so I knew the team anyway.
So you had
I know a lot of
familiarity.
the members, and it's in our hometown, so I know. You go, who's there. You know how many members that obviously I know. Being a 24-hour gym obviously is go. Like today's Sunday, I've taken numerous phone calls today, but it comes with the job role. Do you know what I mean? So
it's one of them ones.
It's also one of them. I'm very much, I don't take work home with me. So when I leave, work starts again the next day. Do you see what I mean? And being in that role, unless an emergency comes up, you're fully able to do that. Do you know what I mean? I might have the odd phone call in the evening just asking a question or whatnot. It's absolutely fine. But also, obviously, being a PT at the same time, it gives you that option to network with a lot of people. So yes, I'm the manager, but I see it from a member level and a PT level as well. If you see what I mean. So it's even like sometimes you get complaints about certain things, and you have to look at it from both sides. You have to look at it from both sides. So sometimes
you can't just say this is it.
Sometimes it is the left side's out of order or the right side's out of order, but you have to sit on the fence. And it's every day's a learning curve. Every PT in there is very different. They come from different backgrounds. They've got different experiences. They've got different opinions. Different morals, different ways of looking at things. So essentially, I'm every single one of them at some point, you know. I have different conversations with different PTs each day about different topics, so you start to look at things from a very wide spectrum, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You diversify your ways of thinking.
100%, you know.
That must be great as well, like just as a little side thing to, you know, to get to meet all these different types of people. You probably just learn even more.
Yeah,
being in that spot, because
100%, like, you know, even just standing to the side of a conversation, you know, like the front desk, obviously the amount of conversations that go on at that desk between the team and between the members as well. And it's not just chit chat about what happened on the weekend or who won the football. The amount of actual work related and business related conversations that go on is actually crazy.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
huge.
And you start to hear about what people are doing on the side, you know, what people are planning, people's opinions, you know,
training methods,
exactly. You know, what it might be, what someone's doing to change their business, how they're doing their finances now, how they're planning their diary now, you know. Everyone, and that's the thing with the team, everyone to an extent does help each other, you know. Like, I learned a lot from KO. Even when I first took over the management role, I was still starting the PT and thing as well. Took a lot of information and a lot of opinions from that, and from that I now have people come to me because I'm the manager, and they ask me questions, you know, about what should they do, what do I think. It could be, what do you think of this plan, what do you think of this that I'm thinking to do, you know. It could just be a question of opinion.
Facts.
And like, you know, how many times you walk past, my door's open. My door's always open. If I'm not busy, my door's open, you know. And sometimes it is just a chat about what they did on the weekend, or it might be, I've got this client, and
or even just a simple hello.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've got this client, I've got this issue. What do you reckon? You know, so you're the friend, the manager, the opinion. You know, I don't like to be the moany person. You know, I'm not a moany person, and that's kind of the approach I took from the start. Basically, was do what you're supposed to do, and you won't hear from me, sort of thing. You know, I'm not a micromanager. You know, just do the basics, and we can all get on. We can all have a laugh. You know,
I like that.
I socialise with a lot of my team outside of work, which again, some people are a bit like keep work and social separate, but again, it comes back to balance.
I was going to add to that as well, bro. That's a great point, because I think you're in a very unique position as a manager of you know, people who have their own self-employed companies, also sole traders, if you will, and you have a unique perspective. Most jobs, most managers, they kind of know their staff, but they ain't really going to hang with them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a need to. But in your position, I think it's actually more powerful to do that.
Yeah, because how can I have a working relationship with someone that I won't go and grab lunch with? That's the way I look at it.
And you're in the fitness world, it's just like,
if I can't go grab a coffee, a beer, you know, or lunch with you, how are we going to work together on a mature level, you know? Otherwise we just become colleagues.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's like, hey, how you doing? Little chit chat.
It becomes small talk. Whereas when you've got a relationship, like every time I step out, I'll always say, I'm going shop, does anyone want anything? And everyone does that. You know, everyone will say, I'm just going shop. Sometimes I come in my office and there's a drink on the desk, and depending on what the drink is, I know which person went to the shop. Do you see what I mean? And it's nice like that.
That's
nice
like
that. You know, some people think, oh, there's a lot of you, there's a big team and whatnot, but don't be wrong, some people keep themselves to themselves, and that's just them. That's cool. Absolutely fine. But there is quite a lot of us that do mingle quite well. Do you know what I mean? So it's helped me learn. Helped me learn. You know, I've been a manager in previous roles, not of a gym. It's completely different. Different, you know, atmosphere. Managing what I class as a small team, what I'm doing right now, compared to the team that I managed a few years ago in an office-based environment, is very different. It's very, very different. And no 2 days are the same, you know. One day you're laughing and joking, the next day you're having to hold an emergency one-to-one. You know, it's very different, for positive or for negative. You know? It's very different.
Now that's a powerful step, bro. I mean, judging from what I've seen you on the outside looking in, as I said, I've been able to see you grow and develop over the years, and you know, try and dabble different things, and then you come in and it definitely feels like this is what you're supposed to do.
100%. Like for me, growing up, you could have asked me at any age, what do you want to do? I didn't know. I didn't know. You know, even if you asked me 2 years ago, I wouldn't have said a gym manager. For me, I think if the opportunity is there, I'll take it. I'll take it and see where I can take it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's back to the drawing board. You know, some people grew up wanting to be a footballer, or wanting to be a policeman, or wanting to be this or wanting to be that. I never did. You know, if you look at my CV, I've got varied roles on my CV. some for 5 years, some for 6 months. You know, some worked, some didn't. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, I think now having the gym role, like the management role, is my security.
Yeah.
So irrespective of what happens with my PT business, I've got that security there almost.
Yeah, that's nice.
Once my PT business is where I want it to be, I can then look at the next step, i.e. the camp that we spoke about earlier for the younger generation. It might work, it might not, but it's something that I want to at least try.
Exactly.
Do you see what I mean? And if it doesn't work, I've got the PT and I've got the management role still there as security.
100%. You built up.
And if one has to sacrifice for the other, then so be it.
Yeah, bro. Nah, that's powerful, bro. Like, real talk. Because I mean, when we really deep it, I was just having this conversation as well recently, a little bit earlier, about passion and purpose. You know, like, it takes a lot of time for some people to discover what their passion and their purpose is, and that can be really frustrating for young people, because, you know, you've constantly got people telling you, like, you got to do this and you got to do that, you should be doing this, you should be making this much, and all these different things. And if you don't fit into that little perfect category, I think you can get really disheartened, and I think that's what leads to the lack of confidence.
100%. Like, I think to myself sometimes, why did I wait so long? You know, I've been training so many years, so many different gyms, had a number of different training partners from different gyms, XYZ. Why did I not start PTing 5-6 years ago? But it never crossed my mind then. It just wasn't anything I ever thought about. It wasn't until I started my journey from being a gym goer to actually getting into fitness and actually watching what I was eating, not eating McDonald's on the way home, things like that. Once that ball started rolling and I started losing weight and I started learning how to train properly, rather than just going in the gym and banging weight, I started splitting my days properly, having a proper training split, taking rest days, little things that you take for granted. You know, it wasn't until I started doing that and I kind of had that reflection point when I look back over the last, say, 3 years. It would have been before I started my course. It's like, wow, this is what I can do if I take it seriously. So if I take it seriously, continue to take it seriously, I can only get better.
That's right.
And then being a PT as well now, I'm still progressing and still learning myself. People think that some PTs have made it, that, you know, they've conquered it, they know everything. It's not the case, because once you've done your basic course, there's additional course. Once you've done that one, there's another one, there's another one. In 5 years time there'll be a whole new bunch of courses. Do you know what I mean? So you're forever learning. You're forever learning. Equipment's always developing. Manipulating exercises is always developing. You know, and at first you might look at an exercise and think, what's that? You try it, you learn it, you understand it. Do you see what I mean? So it's a forever learning cycle, the fitness industry.
Is it almost like a little bit like process of elimination, like trial and error type of thing?
100%. 100%. Like, because a lot of training, especially weight training, comes down to opinion. What I do and what you do for one particular exercise could be completely different. You know, and it's not because mine's right and yours wrong, or yours is right and mine is wrong. It's about preference and opinion. Do you see what I mean? So the way I do something might work for me because of my height or my arm length or my flexibility, my mobility, whereas it might not work for someone who's 6'6" or something like that. Do you see what I mean? So like, there's certain equipment that I won't use because of my height. It's not ergonomic for 6 foot or above. Do you see what I mean? Whereas someone 5'7", 5'8" can use it absolutely perfectly. You see? Arguably, I can improve my mobility a bit more, and I probably could use it. Do you see what I mean? So it's a forever learning thing. You know, you pick up something from the next person. You know, you look at the guy next to you. You might not know what he's doing. You then have two options: study it and learn it, or have the confidence to ask him. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean you can't know it or that you shouldn't know it. Do you see what I mean? Some of the things I do with clients doesn't involve weight. You know, I've got a client where we focus purely on motion. The technique, the form, actually connecting with the muscles. And I've had people ask me, why don't you put weight on? Because that's not what we're trying to do. We're learning here. We're not trying to develop the body as such. We're not trying to build the muscle. We're just trying to get the mind to work how we need it to work. Once that's conquered, then we'll put weight on. Muscle. Exactly. Because I can tell my client, right, do that. They know what they're doing. But doing it with perfect, if you like, doing it with correct form, to the range of motion that they should be doing is not something they can do with weight on the bar. Therefore, we do it without weight on the bar. Once we nail it 10 times over, then we'll introduce weight.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So you do things in the right order.
Yeah,
but that's like learning to ride a bike. Like, you know, you're gonna need to have something. Maybe gonna need some stunts on the beginning, like maybe some wheelies, so that you can like have something to balance, stabilizers.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you work your way off. You take those off, and or if you're learning how to run, like you're gonna crawl first. Because you work our way up.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to start somewhere. And this is what I say to people as well. Don't compare yourself to the next person because you don't know that person. You don't know where they've come from. You don't know when they started. You know, you could look at someone who, in your eyes, is perfect, exactly how you want to be. But they could be 10 years older than what you think they are, and they could have been training for 15 years. You're not going to be that person in 6 months.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's not going to happen.
You have to accept that everyone is different. You know? Learn from that person, don't get me wrong, but don't try and be that person. Don't try and be that person.
That's so true, and I think that's something I've just started to realise in the last year or so, in all aspects of life, I think, and it's definitely translated the best, and I've seen the best results in gym, because I'm going in not really necessarily worrying per se about what others look like and what I should look like at this age, for my height, for all these different things, because it's like your scenarios are all randomly different, and I think that's something that you could obviously shed a little bit of light on. I've noticed that we try to, like you just mentioned, copycat what others look like and feel a little bit uncomfortable when we go into a gym, particularly for men, because it's like you see certain guys, you see KO for example, and you see people like his physique level. It's very difficult for someone to come in and be like, oh, well, how am I going to get to that point, or could I get to that point?
And that's the thing, like, he's a prime example. You know, I know he's going to laugh how many times his name's been mentioned today,
man, he loves it. Like, big up.
He does a lot more than anyone else. People think that he does 1 or 2 sessions a week because that's what they see. He does train, and he is very versatile in his training. You know, he's the only man I know that can go from doing agility work, jumping over 4-foot hurdles, to pulling 300 kilo off the floor. Do you see what I mean? But he didn't do that overnight. You know, he had to nail one before he nailed the other. And now he's nailing both. You know what I mean? I do a lot of his recording for him. You know, he'll come say, "Oh, can you record this for me?" I see the bloopers and things like that. It's not what you see is not the first attempt. Do you see what I mean? So when you do see someone that's come in the gym and they've got 6% body fat and they've got muscles on top of muscles, they didn't do that in a week. Do you see what I mean? And it has to be that consistency. You know, like KO for example. He'll come in the morning, he'll train a few clients, he'll do his cardio, he'll go home for a few hours, he'll come back, he'll train clients, he'll get his session in. Do you see what I mean? Now, you might only see him in the gym training clients, so in your head, how's this man look like this when he doesn't train? But he does. Do you see what
But you're not seeing the other session where you came in earlier.
You're not seeing the 7 a.m. cardio. You're not seeing him train at lunchtime because people are at work at that time and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So
the intrinsic parts.
Exactly. You know, and a lot of people, that typical line, we all say it in the gym, bantering each other, I'm trying to be like you. Now, it should only be a banterous line. Because everyone is different. You should not try and be like me, because your body type and my body type is completely different. Do I wish I could look like Kojo to an extent? Yes, I do. Will I ever? No. Do you know what I mean? So that whole trying to be like you, the only time we should be trying to be like the next person is through determination and consistency.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? Aesthetically, accept you for who you are and where you can take yourself.
That's right.
That's the way I see it. Like, even recently, I've had a conversation, funny enough, with KO, whereby he's advised me to focus on my top half more because I put so much focus into my legs. My legs have progressed, so if I continue to do that, my top half's going to fall behind. So
it's the balance in that.
So that's now me learning. That's his observation. He's right in what he said. I've learned from that. You know, so my focus now is going to be my top half approach. It doesn't mean I'm going to neglect my legs.
No, of course not. But it
just means the focus is going to be different. Do you know what I mean? Now, me taking his advice and doing a couple of training sessions with him a week is not going to make me look like him. It's only going to help me improve myself.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? If you come to the gym with me tomorrow, you're not going to then become the same training style as me. You're going to learn a few things from me. You're going to learn a few things. You might disagree with a few things. but you're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? What you then do with that is for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna make you lift the same weight as me or run the same distance as me. You know, like if I came to the pitch to play football with you, it'd be a laughing stock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, specialized information.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what beautiful I like about the gym and people in those environments, because we all have knowledge to pass on to somebody. And as I said, when you can remove yourself from feeling like stressed or frustrated about not looking like somebody else or not having somebody else's
we all do it. I do it often. You know, like I had a conversation with my coach this weekend whereby he's dropped carbs because my work ethic has not been where it needs to be. So to compensate that, carbs have to be dropped. So in a way, I'm going to suffer. It's not a punishment, but my body will suffer through less carbs. Whereby the bottom line is, if I'd pulled my socks up and I'd given it that 100% like I should have done, I would have progressed that little bit further this week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
We all have hurdles in life, busy days, etc., etc. But essentially, they're all still excuses. They're all still excuses. Do you see what I'm saying?
Big time, bro. Big time. And that's the thing, though. Like, you can make the excuse for yourself, but ultimately, you're the one missing out.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do it for yourself.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I don't do cardio for 2 days, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my fault. It's my responsibility to do the cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I don't do it, who have I got to blame?
So true. It's only yourself, innit? And yeah, that's why I like being in the gym as well. That's another thing to add on. I like being in the gym because you're around a lot of people that will hold you accountable. Yeah. You know, they'll give you a little, even if it's a little banter and it's about you ain't been in there, huh? Like, exactly. Just a little bit, just to give like you.
Sometimes when someone comes in I haven't seen for a few days, I'll ask them. I'll put it on them. I'll say to them, "Where have you been? Like, did you get lost? You know, why haven't I seen you for 3 days? You know." Now, essentially, it doesn't affect me whether they're in the gym or not.
Yeah.
It's just to kind of
motivate.
Give them a bit of motivation. Like, you know, there's certain people in the gym that we pick on for certain aspects and whatnot, and that's not because we do it to be bullies or to be malicious. It's a motivational thing. It's an encouragement thing. You know,
that's true. So
we all have the days where we can't be bothered. You know.
Yeah.
I work in the gym, I do at least 40 hours a week. I'm in that gym probably 60 to 70 hours a week. I still have time where I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. You know,
imagine.
Sometimes I have to drag myself to do that session or drag myself onto the treadmill. Do you know what I mean? And it's only natural. But I have an A or B option.
That's it.
I drag myself to do it, or I make an excuse and I don't. Do you see what I mean? So
that's it. Yeah, and that's all we got. And then, do you want to have a pile of excuses? Or do you want to have a pile of results?
This is exactly.
That's really what it comes down. Even if you didn't quite make it, sometimes what I like doing, even on certain days I don't feel great, I'll go in. If I do a shorter session, or not as intense, or it's not exactly what I want it to be, I'm still here though.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that, or I didn't really want to go, but I'm here though.
And what would you have done otherwise?
Exactly. Probably have done some foolishness.
Exactly.
Like wasting time, and then you got to do extra when you come in. Like you said, now you got to cut those carbs, innit? And now man's going to be on you for that. Yeah. So like, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the mix between free weights versus machines. Because this is like an ongoing saga, which I don't personally think there's one better than the other. I think, like you said earlier, it's particular based on your goals, what you're trying to get to. But like, have you noticed a particular positive or negative that stands out when it comes to free weights or machines in the gym?
I mean, that's a very good question. It's a very good question, and it comes down to mainly opinion and preference.
Cool.
So like, the obvious is the safety side of things.
Yeah.
You're more prone to injury on free weights than you are machines. Yeah. So say dumbbell bench press, for example. Yeah. If that goes wrong, there's multiple possibilities. Torn pec, torn shoulder,
wrist.
torn rotator cuff, wrist. If anything gives where your elbow gives, your wrist gives, and that dumbbell comes inward, that's facial. You know, the dumbbell could come down on your face, whatever it might be. So free weights obviously always poses a greater risk in terms of injury. Machines, yes, you can still tear a ligament or sever a tendon or whatever it might be using a machine, but you've got less risk on the machines. It then also comes down to the type of machine. So a shoulder press machine from 5 different brands is going to work in 5 different ways. Yes, it's still a shoulder press machine, but the ergonomics on every machine is going to be slightly different.
Like the position.
So where the seat might be, the way the handle, the resting position of the handles, the angle that the machine moves in. You know. So yes, like the free weights gives you more of a, say, a natural motion in terms of your limbs will move the way you move them, but obviously they also have that ability to move in the wrong direction and result in injury. The machines, some people don't like machines because they feel restricted. They don't work in a certain way, or they don't allow them to move in a certain direction. I use both in my training. I use a combination of the two. Sometimes I try and do 1 week of one and 1 week of the other.
Okay, cool.
So if I do bench press this week, I might use the chest press machine next week, or something like that.
Cool.
But I would definitely say not to neglect one over the other. Obviously, there's some exercises require free weights only. You know, like a deadlift, for example. You could set it up in certain machines. You know, you can use like a shrug machine to do a deadlift, things like that. You know, you can manipulate things to a certain degree if you want to, but some of the foundation exercises, some of your compound exercises are compound exercises because they need to be. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some machines, especially some of the machines that are being designed nowadays, they are very sort of, I don't know what the word would be, they're very bespoke now. Like some brands are, you can tell they're really looking at how can we optimize this machine the most, you know? So whereas before you'd have a pec fly machine that flips into a rear delt fly machine, now you've got machines there, the handles adjust, the seat adjusts back and forth, the lower seat adjusts up and down, you know, it's so left.
Like the leg press one, because I've seen the leg press one is quite advanced as well, isn't it?
You know, like there's so many different leg press machines, and where we travel, me and some of the boys travel to different gyms, we've really seen how angle can change certain things. Something as simple as a few degrees can change how a machine works. So like the machine in bars, for example, I know I can get 8-9 plates aside on that. Put 8-9 plates on a different branded leg press, I can't move it, you know, and it's not because I can't move the weight. The weight is the same. Weight is weight. It's how the ergonomics of that machine works. It's how the mechanism of that machine is set up. So that's why some people who use logbooks, the people that use logbooks swear by them. People that don't swear against them. They're a good thing for
so
the
a logbook. Wait, let us know.
Sorry. So a logbook is like sometimes just a notepad. It's a simple notepad, but you can actually get logbooks that are split out, so they're like gridded out. So you write your workout, like what day you're doing, your exercise, what weight you did, so that you can go back, so that you can refer back, basically. So it's almost like a diary. It's basically like a workout diary. So some people that use a logbook to track their training, it's great if they only train in one gym. But if you train in a separate in a different gym, those two training sessions are not going to be the same.
That's true.
If the equipment's different.
I didn't think about that.
What I mean, if you play with a size 4 football or size 5 football, talking about football knowledge now, that's as far as it goes. It's going to be different. Do you see what I mean? So,
or even boots.
Like exactly.
Certain type of boots.
Yes, precisely.
They do feel different.
So, going back to your original question, I personally, I prefer both. I like to split my training between the two. You know, I use free weights for certain exercises and only those exercises. I also use machines for certain exercises and only use machines for those. But then I have that mix between the two as well. Because you have to keep it mixed up. You know, if I go to a different gym and they've got a machine that I've never seen before or I've never used before, I'm going to use it because I want to see how that works. I want to see how that feels. Does it feel better? Does it feel worse? You know, does it feel exactly the same? Why am I going to go and use something that I have access to 7 days a week, whether that be a dumbbell or an existing machine? Do you see what I mean? So I think it's like going to a restaurant. If you go to the same restaurant every week, are you going to order the same food every week, or are you going to start to try and change what you order? Do you see what I mean? But it also comes down to your training style. Some people are not, again, confident. They're not confident with free weights because of that risk element. So they will only stick to machines. Some people don't like machines. They don't like the symmetry, or they don't like the ergonomics. Or that's the easy option, or whatever it might be. Their preference might be free weights only. But for my training, and certainly for my clients as well, we use a combination of the two. Definitely.
I like that. And I've been noticing as well in recent times, I know Kea again, he's another great person who he loves to to use machines in unique ways. I mean, there is not a training session I've done with that guy where I have thought to myself, why am I doing this? Because what was a basic exercise
gets manipulated into borderline torture. Yeah, but it works. It works, you know. I've seen the guy put resistance bands on machines I didn't know resistance bands could go on to, you know. And like you've seen the other day when we were training, it's how can we make this harder, you know, not to make it impossible, but how can we make this hit the targeted muscle better. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you are training in the same gym over and over again, you only have the option to progress the weight, but weight is not everything. Weight is not everything.
That's true.
You see what I mean? So that's why you will see some machines are being manipulated, and the free weights as well, adding a resistance band here, or doing it this way, doing it that way, eliminating this, eliminating that. It's to make the muscles work harder. It's not about just moving more weight or lifting more weight. It's about how can I make this more taxing? How can I stress the muscle more? How can I shock the body? So yes, to some people it's like, what on earth is that? But there's always a reason behind it.
Absolutely.
And you can feel the difference. If you were to do a set on the machine as standard and then a manipulated version, you feel the difference. There's no two ways about it. Irrespective of your training experience, you will feel the difference. You know,
that's huge. I mean, I think that for me, I agree as well wholeheartedly. It's like I kind of find the balance between two, using both is important. I particularly like freeze a little bit more just for certain exercises. Because it's the range of motion, like you said, and it's like being able to explore. I'm getting to that point now where you almost like to explore the weight changes and the differences of how it makes it feel. When you go in at first, I think when you're just getting into the gym, you're kind of just, you want to get the move of the weight, you want to get the range of motion, you want to get a little bit of residual strength built up so that you feel comfortable. Then I think the next stage is where I'm trying to reach now, which is I'm doing workouts and I'm like feeling for where I'm actually getting engagement in the muscles.
And that's the thing, it's not about just going through the motions. It's not about just picking up that weight, doing your 10 reps and putting it down again, or sitting on that machine doing your 12 to 15 reps, taking your rest, doing the same again. You have to know what you're doing. Why are you picking up that weight? What muscle are you working? Can you feel that muscle working? There's got to be a reason behind it.
That's so true. Alright, so you brought up something really good there about traveling to different gyms and stuff. What has been some of the standout things that you've noticed when you travel to different gyms that you've liked, that have stood out, so to say, in a positive way?
I think the first thing is, like you said previously, atmosphere. You know, walking into the gym as new faces and feeling the atmosphere. You know, warm welcomes, things like that. To some people it goes over their head. It doesn't mean anything to them. You know, but when you've just jumped on the motor, when you've done 45 minutes around the M25 to go to a gym, you want that warm welcome. Once you've got that, you're in a good mood. You go in, you have a look around. It's new. You know, you're going to look around. What's going on? You know. Then you come across the machines that you've seen online or you've seen on someone's social media, and now it's there live in the flesh. So you're going to try it out. You know, like there's one gym that we went to that has got like a full range of equipment that is not in many gyms. I believe it's imported. So it's probably not readily available.
Other countries.
And it was like a head scratch moment. You have to kind of look at it and work out how does that work. Once you start working out, you realise, whoa, this is completely different. You know, this is let me lighten the weight a little bit. I'm nowhere near my normal weight. I need to get used to this, you know. And I remember it clearly. We went and did a back session at this particular gym. And I was sore for days later. And I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't really do anything outside of the norm. It's purely the way that the machines were different. They were just hitting the muscles completely different.
Hitting different groups.
Do you know what I mean? So it was a big shock to the body. But atmosphere is definitely one thing. Equipment's not everything, but it is always nice. It's nice to try out new stuff. You know, it's nice to see what are these independent gyms doing. You know, some gyms you go in and they're kitted out from front to back with the same brand. You can tell they've bought everything from the catalogue, which to an extent is great. But then on the other hand, you do have those gyms where it's very mix and match. And for me, I love that. I love that because some of the equipment I've used before, I know what that is. I don't need to look at that. I need to look at this one. I need to see this one over here that I've never seen before. You know,
and see how it operates.
And also you see different training styles as well. You know, like without being that guy that is watching the next person, go into these different gyms that has different equipment, has different people. Some of these gyms are quite big name gyms as well, so they have big name people training in them. You know, people that are year on year professional bodybuilders or whatever the competition might be, year on year professional powerlifters, etc. So you see some of those people in there as well, and you see them and their training styles, or you see them training their clients, and it's just nice to be in a different environment. You're in a different area, you've just done a little bit of a road trip with the boys, you've had a laugh and a joke on the way up there.
Good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. You've gone to a pretty decent gym, that's bound to have good kit, because that's why you've headed there in the first place. You get there, it's got more than what you anticipated. You've bumped into a semi-professional face as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just nice. It's nice to just get out, basically.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's that community. It's like the gym community is a vast one. I've noticed from being in the gym, there's a certain type of energy that's different in the gym from people that you talk to. I don't know if it's just the ambition, people working on themselves. It could be a mix of those things, but I definitely think that there's something to be said about people willing to collaborate and network in the gym. Slightly different than other places. I think it's a bit more of a facade in other places, if that makes sense. Definitely.
Like when you network and you bump into someone in a gym, you're both there for a reason. It's not forced. You don't have to speak to that person, so if that conversation arises, chances are it's happened naturally. No one has put you in front of that person and said have that conversation. True. You're both in the gym for a reason, for the same passion. You might have different goals, but you're both interested in fitness, whatever it might be. One might be a bodybuilder, one might be losing weight, whatever it might be. So when you do start to meet those people, especially when you see people on social media, you might follow them, they might follow you, etc., and then you see them in person, it's like, okay, like, I know you, blah blah blah. It might just be a quick hello, keep it moving. You might not see them again for another 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Or it might be you've been standing there for half an hour now having a chat.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
That does. What I mean, it's nice to have that sort of
atmosphere.
Put like a real life situation which wouldn't happen if it wasn't for that gym, if it wasn't for fitness. Would you stop and speak to that person in the street? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the familiarity.
Yes, and then it creates so many opportunities. Like some of the people that you spoke to in the gym that will be on here soon. If you didn't see them in the gym, would they be sitting in this seat in weeks to come?
Probably not, bro. That's the reality.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I've almost found. It's weird. Like, the number of people I'm getting on the pod via the gym is going up. If that makes sense. Obviously, at my engagement, I'm down in the gym 4 days a week. I try and make a habit of it, but I could just go, like you said, put headphones in, don't talk to no one. But I use it as an opportunity. I don't wear no headphones.
Exactly. I'm there. I've seen the conversations, but I didn't tell you go and speak to that person and have that chat. You two have had those. You and the other people have had that conversation naturally. Do you see what I mean?
That's true.
Now, if you were not in the gym and they were not in the gym, and you bumped into each other in Starbucks, would you have that chat?
Probably not. Maybe just be friendly.
Maybe a hello. Do you know what I mean?
Just keep it moving.
A familiar face, don't particularly know them, might nod your head, keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that you're in the gym and you've got that time, you're both there for a similar reason, recognise each other, have a chat, here you go. Do you know what I mean?
No, that is very true. And I think there's something to be said about that gym atmosphere, energy. And I think 100%. it swirls around a little bit more, as opposed to other places. There's a little bit more like people a bit more bogged down, tunnel vision, focused.
Of course, and you're always going to get those. There's a couple of guys in the gym that I see every day. I don't even bother saying hello to them because I just nod my head, might give them a thumbs up, and that's it. Because they come in with their headphones on. I know they've only got 45 minutes, an hour to get their session done. They're in and they're out. Some people come in, they have a 10-minute chat before even thinking about what they're training for the day. Do you know what I mean? And it goes back to everyone being different.
Exactly.
Everyone being different.
And then having that versatility, like you said, of you being versatile as a trainer, as a PT, as a manager, being able to notice and recognize, that's just what's going on. It's a hello. I don't have to go and engage there. But that person, they're probably struggling a little bit. They might need some advice, but they're less confident.
And it's the same with my team as well. There's days where I have laugh and a joke with certain members of the team for 15-20 minutes, and then it's like, right, let's get back to work. The very next day, it might only be a hello between me and that same said team member, because it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm still tired, or they've had a bad morning and they're trying to go home, they don't really want to have a chat with me, and equally that's absolutely fine.
I hear that. That is deep. So as we get close towards our conclusion, let's talk a little bit more about you and what you're doing specifically. So obviously Marcus PT training, the name of it, right?
Yeah, Marcus Day
PCG.
Personal Training. Yeah,
There you go. So I've seen you go and do a couple of events and things like that, and go and do some of the conventions back in the day.
Yeah. So
what's your next kind of steps wanting to kind of get it off of the ground? Because I know you're in a great spot to get that rolling.
Yeah. So that was all brought to a grinding halt because of COVID. Obviously, it shut down a lot of things. Yeah, it killed everything. But yeah, so Body Power, like the expo up in Birmingham, which is, it's just the whole fitness industry, from anything fitness related. From names, brands to supplements to competitions to professionals, celebrities, etc., etc. And we actually,
that must be sick.
yeah, it's great. It's a good day out. You can make a weekend of it as well.
Okay.
But that's kind of where that happened at the beginning of my fitness journey as well. Where me and one of my mates, Kyle, as you know, we were training together at the time.
Big up Kyle as well. My brother.
And then we looked to go to it, so we put the word out, few conversations and whatnot, decided to go up there. We got chatting to a group of boys doing the same thing as us, all the way from Essex. Severely Fitness, they're another group of guys, I can put you in contact with them. They'd be brilliant to get on here as well. I know they're not from the area, but
that'd be lit.
Group of guys, so we started chatting with them.
No weakness.
Yeah, no weakness as well. I'll get onto him. Yeah, so met there.
Yeah.
Got chatting and whatnot, realised we're a lot more alike. We actually finished and ended up going for food together.
Nice.
So we're a group of boys from Slough, group of boys from Essex. Met up on a gym based thing, ended up going for food. A month later, we're back in Birmingham training at a gym together. Where one of the guys built a gorilla, big up him as well. He created like a link up, basically just a gym link up, mini little competitions, dip competitions, pull up competition, deadlift, blah 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 blah. I think there was like nearly 15 of us, I think it was, that pulled up there. We went to Flex Fitness in Birmingham. Basically just shouted them, said, look, this is what we're planning to do. Are you happy for us to do that? They said, yeah, come through. We got there, they didn't even make us pay to get in. We all got there, we're willing to pay our day passes and whatnot. They said, nah, look, we respect you coming up here, blah blah blah.
That's love.
Come through, sort of thing. So that was the plan, moving forward, and then obviously COVID hit, threw everything out the pan. The plan was to go this month as well. It's supposed to be on this month, but it's been postponed for whatever reason.
Of course.
But no, basically, before going into that too much, like, those expos there are brilliant networking opportunities because it brings people from all over the country together. Do you know what I mean? Like, would I have met Severely Fitness otherwise? Probably not. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And also small towns as well. You've got to remember, we're a little privileged down here in
exactly.
Berkshire.
Exactly. So, like, we want to get, there's the Arnold's in September, which is another big expo, which is another thing that we'll all be planning soon as well. Like a big, get everyone out, make a weekend of it, etc., etc.
Yeah, man, get out there.
But yeah, like you said, networking, no weakness. So how me and No Weakness come about was actually crazy. So he
do you know what's mad? I didn't even get a chance to meet him properly yet, but we've been at the same place like twice, 2 or 3 times. It's mad, it's weird. Like,
he's a guy. He's a real guy. So I met him on socials, funny enough. He used to do this thing. It's a crazy story. He used to do this thing where it was guess the price, right? So he used to put his shopping on the conveyor belt in Tesco. Guess the price. Closest guess won a t-shirt. I see, I can guess that, blah 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 blah. Guess the price. He shouted me, yeah, you got it right. Let me know what t-shirt you want, etc., etc.
Okay, cool.
At the time I was driving vans. I was a van driver at the time. And I said I'll pick the top up. Obviously I'm always on the move, I picked the top up. So gave me the address, went to pick up the t-shirt. First time I meet him, I've only spoke to him on social media a few times, etc. And I actually pulled up at a barbershop. So I pulled up there. It turns out he's a barber, got his own brand, etc., etc. Got chatting, blah blah blah. A week later I'm sat in his chair. So now from one little thing on social media, obviously you'll see on socials we've done a few training videos together.
That's right.
He's my barber. He's my friend. Like, I've been around his house, I've met his family, etc. Do you know what I mean? Like, we went to Body Power together. We'll be going to the Arnold's together. Even when he set up his shop, when he set up his barber shop, at the time, I don't know if I'm going to get into trouble with this, but it was a secret which I knew about. So I was behind the scenes on that, just helping him out. It was a conversation we had in the car one day. He said, look, keep it quiet, this is what I'm planning to do, blah 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 blah. It's just weird how from one little social media thing we've become a barber and a client,
and
friends, training partner, you know, and then, you know, just helping him set up his shop and whatnot. So he just moved again, which is great. You know, he's just forever evolving. The brand is still, you know, still growing and whatnot as well. And that's just one of many. Do you know what I mean? There's so many other people that I've met through socials and whatever. Like I said, COVID slowed a lot of it down. But the plan's still there. It hasn't stopped. It's just slowed it down. You know, there's through traveling to gyms. You know, like there's a gym all the way in Kent where I met a good friend of mine, Jem now, you know, met him, bumped into him in the gym, got chatting. He came to Body Power with us that year. Do you know what I mean? When next time I went to that gym, I shouted him, I said, I'm going to be there on this day. Let me know if you can make it. Linked up, trained again. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what I'm talking about, man. The universe is it's meant for you to be out there and to collaborate.
Exactly. And that's where the plan, you know, the plan's going. So for me, when I go into the next phase and set up the camp and whatnot, it might not even be in Slough. It doesn't have to be in Slough. You know, it might start here and hopefully evolve further. But social media will play a big part in that. You know, 100%. It's not going to be limited to just one area, one park or one place. You know, it's going to be as widespread as possible. And with the people that you network with, you can make it a much bigger thing. Do you know what I mean? Like the conversations we've already had already on how we can potentially expand it in time to come, you know?
Facts. 100%. Like COVID has slowed down things, but it hasn't stopped a lot of plans. If anything, I think what it has done is enabled and opened up a few more doors and dropped a few more egos down.
100%. I mean, that's it. I set up the brand during lockdown. I had the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like I was telling you earlier, my logo came from me passing time during lockdown. I sat there, I played around, I tried this, I tried that, and I'm not artistic in the slightest. You know, what I came up with was terrible. Looked for designers and whatnot, come across a designer, reached out to her, got in contact, said this is what I'm trying to do, etc, etc. Sent her what I had initially done, and just said make of it what you will. You know, just have a play around with it, you know, sort of thing. And that this is where we are today. You know, it was a lot more easy going than what I thought. It was a lot more simpler process and whatnot. Even down to like my business cards, and just some of my other designs that will be coming out later on. Even looking at some clothing, like any of the clothing you see me wearing now is just prototypes. It's just one of ones of me just trial and error in different suppliers, things like that. Do you know what I mean? But if it wasn't for lockdown, I wouldn't have had the time to do that. I would still be trying to do that now. I'd be trying to do my day job, trying to train clients,
overwhelmed,
and trying to establish the brand at the same time. Whereas, you know, as much as lockdown was a terrible thing and it damaged a lot of people, damaged a lot of businesses, it does have its positives. Do you know what I mean? It gave us a lot of time. You know, some of the things that you set up, you wouldn't have had the time to do if it wasn't for lockdown.
Hell no, bro. Absolutely not. Because like when you're, like you said, when you're on front foot, making moves daily and active, what happens is you get bogged down in that activity, and then the only results you're going to get are from that activity. So sometimes you need something to, you know, I wouldn't say force you but to slow you down, make you stop, make you adjust. Because then, like you said, you had time to sit down, you come up with a logo idea. I mean, I came up with the concept of Mind to Motions about the mental health discussions and stuff throughout lockdown, and it's finding bits of value that, you know, it's not just figuring out stuff about yourself, which is great, but it's also figuring out how I can actually build something that might help others too.
Of course.
Which I think is that what we're all trying to get to. Do you know what I mean? So, man. As we close this off, I want you to highlight and sort of give, first of all, let people know anything that he's got upcoming, because I know you mentioned the boot camp, and there's anything else that you'd like to let know, and then words of wisdom. That's something I always like to leave the people with. So
okay, so obviously we've established today managing Buzz Gym in Slough, personal training. So any sort of questions, queries, anything like that, just let me know. At MarcusJPT on Instagram, MarcusJPT@gmail.com for emails. Obviously the boot camp is the more immediate thing, so planning to do a boot camp this summer.
Nice.
Two of the guys locally, obviously Shine and Dougie, have set up theirs as well.
It's sick.
Yeah, they've set up theirs. I think that's going live as of next week, which is great. You know, like I would really want to see them do well. Do you know what I mean? It's not a competition thing at all.
No. But even though there is competition around, we know competition breeds a certain type of positive mentality in you.
Yeah, of course, 100%. You know,
brings out the best in you sometimes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna look to do the boot camp probably in Windsor, like one of the parks in Windsor, basically. Yeah. Just like one day a week, something like that. Just to, not everyone wants to go to the gym.
That's it.
That's it. So yeah, the immediate is the boot camp, kind of get a feel for that, and then get pen to paper for the kind of the fitness camp, I think I'm going to call it, rather than call it a boot camp as such, because we're not trying to boot camp the kids. It'd be more of a fitness camp. That's something that probably won't happen this year, if I'm honest. It'll probably be in planning this year, ready for next year.
Put things in place.
I don't want to rush for the sake of it. I'd rather take time and it actually take off properly, basically. But yeah, just a fitness camp, focusing on the younger generation that are on a path that's ending in a dark place, basically, whether that's crime, violence, whatever it might be, and just give them, like we said, the option of that other path. If they take it, great. If they don't, at least we tried. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's the plans for me. Grow the business, continue to grow Buzz Gym as well, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Offer a boot camp locally for this summer, and then just really put plans into place for the younger generation moving forward, basically.
That's it.
And then
words of wisdom.
Anything that you could think? I think it's repeating half of what I've said today, to be honest. Is do what you're doing for yourself. Do you know what I mean? You're not that other person. Like, it's natural to compare, but don't judge your feelings and your happiness. Don't base that off of what you see from someone else. I think all of us are our own people. We're all on our own journey, whether we're at the start, halfway, or close to the end. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, the goalposts are forever moving. So if you get to where you think you want to be and then you realize that you're not, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you just said, mental health, fitness and mental health come together quite well. That's potentially a conversation for another time. Don't let comparison and your physique, fitness, stamina level, whatever, affect your mental health.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's powerful.
That's what I think I would finish off on. Don't let your self-comparison affect your mental health.
Yeah, that's a deep one. Yeah, no, I like that. I think that a lot of people will really enjoy this episode, particularly just from gaining insight from hearing somebody who's actually in the scene making things happen. But more,
and that's the thing. That's like what I said to you. Like, I'm not a footballer. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a particular thing. I'm just a gym manager / PT. And also a gym enthusiast, do you know what I mean? Who, like I said, I'm still on my journey. I'm still in the early days of my journey.
Figuring out your journey, man. Yeah, that's the great part about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we often need each other to sometimes find out where we're actually going.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can feel like we're achieving something and we're working towards a purpose or a goal, but ultimately we don't really know until sometimes you meet somebody else who's on their journey as well.
Definitely,
if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Or trying to figure out that journey, because then you're kind of like, oh yeah, I could. All right, it just reaffirms certain things like confidence. Because I've heard this a couple of times now. Like, I've had Aidan, who Fit Roots, came on episode 1, and he talked about one of the biggest things he deals with or sees from parents or people coming to his classes: confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like young kids all the way up to adults. It's like we have to find a way that we can kind of, like you said, look inside, focus on self, and do those things for you, because that's going to help build that trust, that confidence in yourself. So that's a great one, man. I think overall, I think this has just been great conversation, just great to highlight who you are, what you're up to. And like I said, this space is all about just highlighting people from where we come from and outside as well. Like, I don't want to limit it to just Slough community. Of course, that's where we're from. At the same time, there are some really positive people in Slough, and I want to showcase the fact of, by number, hey, look, it ain't what people think. Like, people have this perception, like,
like Slough's notoriously got that bad name. And to a certain extent, rightly so. We both know what that high street currently looks like. Facts. But it's not what it was. Yes, it's going downhill and whatnot, but like you said, there's still people like ourselves that are still in the area, have always been in the area, and are just making the best out of what we've got.
You know what it is as well, bro? Like, you think we think outside the box too.
Of course.
That's the real key. I think in order to survive in a place like Slough and to do well, you kind of have to think outside the box. You need to bring skills, traits, even people from outside the area, to be able to highlight where you come from and to have that pride in what you built.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can't just have that approach of, oh, this is it. It's not, you know,
No.
There's always something more. You just got to look for it and to a certain extent work for it as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's big facts. Well, boy, Marcus has been blessed, fam.
Thank you
Real
for
talk,
having me.
man.
I appreciate you having me.
Real
honestly.
talk, man. I appreciate anybody who comes on here. One, shares their time, because you know, time is money, time is valuable these days, and we're all busy people. So anyone who comes and shares some time to talk about what they're passionate about, and you know, give something to the people, and even if it's just for self as well, and you just get opportunity to share, sometimes it's healthy. But yeah, brother, like, we've known each other for a long time, and I'm getting to showcase people I've known, some people I don't know. But it's just a good balance of showcasing that, yeah, like, we're out here, and we're providing, we're building, and we're gonna get to those goals, man.
That's it for sure. 100%.
Gonna get there. But until then, guys, I'm gonna put all the links in. As far as my guy, he's got boot camp coming up, or fitness boot camp, as well as obviously working in the gym at Buzz. So if you ever see him, if you are in Slough, then go say hello. And any questions as well too. I'll have all of the contact info for you to find.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, until the next episode, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you soon. Peace and love.